thina sabona utata bethu befika bebaleka besithi kuyadutyulwa ngapha entabeni hayi nathi ke sabaleka ke sangena phasi kwebhedi ngoba besisebancinci.
We call upon the people of Soweto to calm down. We are the legitimate police service in the country.
No, we know that because the army come hit us every day. When they come here, they're hitting the people, and the people is scared to commit cases because they will come back and hit us again.
A world champion, businesswoman and philanthropist. This is Caster Semenya. Throughout her 10-year career, she's had to deal with questions about her gender, people calling her a man and demanding that she undergo gender testing. The worst of all, she's battling a proposal by the International Association of Athletics Federations, which requires women with high testosterone levels to take medication to lower it. I sat down with the sportswoman for a quick chat.
So I think what we all want to know is, how have the past few months been for you, emotionally and also mentally during the court battles?
I think for me as a human, I was prepared for anything that comes, to me in this world. If we were to talk about mentally, I've learned how to, control the state of my mind on taking everything in and out. So if we were to talk about the situation, I don't think it was that much heavy for me. I think it will be heavy for people who are around me, family.
Yeah. Did you ever feel like your rights as a woman were walked all over?
I think, of course, I felt that from the day one, from the beginning. Obviously, the day I was questioned, I was questioned if I'm a woman or I'm a man. Obviously, that's, to me, is a violation. For me, it's a disgrace. It's an insult, which is one thing for me, for sure. I can never be something I'm not.
How do you block out all this noise? What do you do? How do you find that inner peace?
Negativity to me does not exist, to be honest. From young, I think I grew up with a lot of people being negative in everything that you do. If you walk this direction, because they're not walking in that direction, they will say, no, you cannot succeed. Or they come and say, because you look a little bit like a boy, you can never be accepted in the world. No. If 10% of people in this world do not accept me for who I am, that don't mean nothing to me, because if 90% appreciate me for being who I am, and then they love the work that I do, so 10% is just nothing.
Staying true to her champion status, Semenya vows to forge ahead in her career, saying she knows she's the best. Lindo Stole, Johannesburg.
I said to the public protector has submitted confidential banking records of the CR17 campaign to the court, but only Deputy Judge President Obrile Dwaba has access to them. There's also no clarity on whether a meeting involving Ledwaba, the public protector and the presidency will go ahead on Thursday.
It's not clear if the meeting will forge ahead as planned, because as we understand it, our counsel will not be available tomorrow. Perhaps this might call for a postponement.
The question is, do the public protector's documents contain any new information that's not in the public domain already? Meanwhile, Busisi Wemkwebane is upset at the president's suggestion that she obtained the banking records unlawfully.
The public protector was able to obtain all of those documents, including those she obtained from FNB, from the FIC. The public protector, as an institution, has a memorandum of understanding with the FIC, which memorandum of understanding indicates, among other things, that whenever the public protector needs information such as this, she will be favored with the same from the FIC.
Her spokesperson says it's surprising the president is speaking on behalf of the donors he says he never met.
Which is mind-boggling, because the president has been consistent in saying that he was kept in the dark about the identities of the donors and everyone else. Now, it doesn't make sense that then he wants to protect the identities of people he doesn't know.
For now, it's purely a waiting game. Moluko Molot, Pretoria.
Now that Zandile Kumete, the Iron Lady of Fenanda, has left the building, who will take her place?
The PEC mandated the Provincial Working Committee to working through the officials to ensure that all vacancies occasioned by these decisions are filled within 7 days from today.
Speculation is rife that one of these three might be called upon to hold the fort until the next local government elections. Economic Development MEC Nomusa Dube is the former eThekwini speaker, but sources say she's no longer interested in the city's top job. They say you are the next eThekwini mayor. Is it true? Is it true? Transport MEC Mxolisi Kaunda's name features strongly too.
Are you the new mayor of eThekwini, Mbimbi?
The two possible candidates are mum on the speculation. Nhlanhla Ngidi, meanwhile, is a former KwaZulu-Natal Director General. He's regarded as a shrewd technocrat. But some are saying he has no ambition to continue on after the local government elections. And Gumede's supporters are vehemently opposed to both him and any leadership changes in eThekwini and Msunduzi.
Both regions have been actually made dysfunctional by the same provincial leadership, which exactly tells you that it has been a systematic way of collapsing the dominance and the authority of the leadership of these two regions.
And then number 5.
ANC KZN officials will meet on Wednesday to draw up a list of new mayoral candidates. Siphamandla Goke, Durban.
Political drama has reigned over the eThekwini municipality for some time now. Zandile Gumede had been placed on special leave about 2 months ago after being arrested in connection with the multi-million rand fraud case. And yesterday, she was booted out as mayor. But how do Durban residents feel about this?
I'm glad that there's a decision finally made on our mayor. I trust the ANC-led government to do a clean-up and make KZN a better place to live in, and that contracts going on further will be fair and just, and not people buying contracts.
There's a huge cleanup that's going on, and I'm seeing that. And as for the removal of eThekwini Mayor Zandile Gumede, for me personally, I think now it's a step towards a cleaner administration. So for us youth particularly, to be given a chance to engage in business and not just a monopoly between a couple of people of Durban. So yeah, I feel optimistic.
I live in Newlands East, and we have a lot of issues surrounding electricity and water. The pipes are not getting fixed. DSW doesn't come and pick up our refuge. So yes, this does affect us.
Personally, I don't think it affects me that much. Our service delivery is still there for the next 7 days. Within the next 7 days, I know that a new mayor will be appointed. But in terms of a city, it has affected us in terms of what obviously tourism will suffer.
The question is, will a new mayor be able to address all these challenges? Desan Thathia in Durban.
Natasha Hendricks is still battling to come to terms with the death of a 14-year-old son. Nathaniel was caught in the crossfire during a gang war in Mitchell's Plain last year. His mother wanted his legacy to live on and agreed to donate his organs. She was told about a boy who had been on the waiting list for a heart for 7 years.
I said, if Nathaniel can save that 7-year-old boy's life, then yes.
The Organ Donor Foundation says a lack of education and awareness are the main reasons people aren't becoming organ donors.
There's a very critical shortage in South Africa at the moment. There's approximately 4,300 people on the waiting list for organs and tissue. Sadly, only 600 of those people will receive a transplant every year.
Nathaniel's organs also saved the lives of 4 other young people.
The 2 kidneys was given to 2 young ladies that were starting university. And the two lungs was a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old.
The Organ Donor Foundation says it only takes 2 minutes to register as a donor. Aisha Ismail, Cape Town.
When the unimaginable happens, will rescuers respond? That's the question from Johannesburg residents after it emerged that only 7 fire engines are available to cover the entire city. Some progress has been made since.
As of today, we have 26 operational fire engines in the city of Johannesburg. If there's any incident or any fire that should break out, we will certainly be able to deal with it.
But according to the company commissioned to fix them, these trucks could break down at any time.
It's becoming more expensive to keep the vehicle for the city, honestly speaking, because 2 days, it can be released today, next week when you come back, you see it here.
And the company says the city needs many more fire engines to cope with the demand.
In 2001, they procured 115 fire engines. Now, the population has increased. Now the city of Joburg, to be fully functional, you need over 180 fire engines to 200 fire engines to operate the city of Joburg.
The city hopes to have at least 2 working fire trucks at each of its 30 fire stations within 3 months' time. And fallen firefighters will also be honored.
One of our very small gestures in the remembrance of our firefighters is that we'll be naming those new fire engines, the major ones. We'll have the fallen firefighters' name inscribed onto the fire engine.
While some of these engines will be back on the city's streets, it seems the only time the city of Johannesburg residents will be able to breathe a sigh of relief is when the new ones arrive. Lindokuhle Xulu, Centurion.
It's the eve of the commemoration of the Marikana Massacre. The sun shines through what is the saddest memory, not only for this community, but for South Africa. What do those who were children at the time of the tragedy remember about that deadly day? Senamile Dlamini was only 10 years old on August 16, 2012. Her memory of the weeks leading up to the day are still very fresh in her mind.
Mama wayihlambi washinga apha emnyango. Wabe eoneka pha. Kwabe ibhale yona bidubula pha kwanezinto ezibetha apha emva kwakhe. Hayi ayagqitha ke sahamsa ozichola ezanto. Xa uthi kuthiwa zirubber bullet.
And the day itself, she says, it was like a war zone.
Thina sabona utata bethu befika bebaleka. Besithi kuyadutyulwa ngapha entabeni. Hayi nathi ke sabaleka ke sangena phasi kwebhedi ngoba besisebancinci. Sisoyika nokuze emnyango ngoba kwakudutyulwa ngerubber bullet apha. Soyika nokuya eshop ngoba ihipo ezamoto ezinkulu zazidubula ngamanzi atshisayo.
She says at home and at school they never speak about what happened. But in grade 4, she did write an essay about it.
Dathi suku ningasoze ndilibale. Kumhla utata bethu babedutyulwa phaya. Abanye bafa bengenzanga nto.
She says life in Marikana has not been the same since.
Kwakuthulekile kukahle nje. Kunormal. Emveni kokwenzeka kusasigameko sasenzeka pha. Kwaqala ke ngoku uzibhama ebusuku.
Dlamini says on top of the burden of the tragedy, the poverty has killed the dreams of many.
Kule ndawo amaphupha afezekiswa. Sensitsho akekho umuntu oke weva kuthiwa ba uphumelele waya kuzinga eliphezulu hayi.
Wena iphupha lakho uthini na?
Nandifuna uba ngugqirha. Qha kodwa andiboni balizofezeka nami lo phupha.
Onako Ngungwana was 13 years old when the massacre happened. She says Marikana is a place where the past is dark and the future is bleak.
Obo right abukho because most abantu balapha umuntu ozixaba ufuna ucelebrate okanye ukonwaba kwakhe ukuthanda ukusela utywala ene akuyondawo lena ukuthi ungahlala kuyo nawe ubomi bakho bonke.
She says the images of dead bodies from that day still haunt her.
So ndazibona efonini mina endazibona ezinye ne. Abantu balimele. Omnye khona umntata welimele konke apha ngasemva. Phume ithamathumbu aphume wephansi.
While both say at the time they could not understand what was really going on, they hold the day very close to their hearts. Zikhona Shona in Marikana.
Thina abanye siyagula sine asthma mara silale phansi asidli next mara siphatha ama passport sifuna ukwazi ukuthi kwenzakalani because sina ama passport and asenamalanga awaphelelwanga ngamalanga